Mina worked alone on a small research station far from any city. The station was built on a rocky plain that stretched for miles. The night sky above her glowed with stars that seemed brighter than anywhere else on Earth. She loved the quiet and the sense of being alone in the universe. Her work was about studying unusual atmospheric patterns and strange signals coming from deep space. Most people thought her job was boring, but Mina loved it. Every small discovery made her feel connected to something much bigger than herself. One evening, Mina noticed something unusual. A faint light appeared on the horizon. At first, she thought it was a plane or a satellite reflecting the sun. She checked her instruments, but there was no normal explanation. The light grew brighter and moved closer. Her heart started beating faster. The light was not moving like anything she had ever seen before. It pulsed with a rhythm, almost like it was alive. Mina ran to the observation deck, her boots clanging against the metal floor. The light now filled the sky with a soft blue glow. She raised her hand to shield her eyes, but the glow was not blinding. It was calm, almost gentle. Then she saw it. A massive ship hovered above the plain. It was unlike anything on Earth. It had no wings or engines, no shape she could compare to anything human. It shimmered and changed color, like a living crystal. Mina felt a mix of fear and wonder. Her mind raced with questions. Who were these beings? Why were they here? Suddenly, she felt a strange sensation in her head. It was not pain, but a presence. She could not explain it. The feeling grew stronger, as if someone or something was trying to reach inside her thoughts. Mina froze. Her training as a scientist told her to stay calm and observe, but her body trembled with fear. The ship's surface rippled, and then she heard a sound in her mind. It was not words. It was more like feelings and images being pushed toward her. Mina realized the aliens were reading her mind. She felt their curiosity, their careful attention. She also sensed their confusion. At first, she panicked. She tried to hide her thoughts, to focus only on simple things like the sky and the rocks. But it was impossible. The aliens were too powerful, too connected to her mind. Then something strange happened. The feelings she sent out, her simple hopes and memories, caused the aliens to react in a way she did not expect. They pulled back, as if shocked. She felt a wave of fear coming from them. "What are you afraid of?" Mina whispered aloud, but the words felt useless. The aliens did not need sound to understand. They were staring at her with a curiosity that seemed deeper than anything she had seen. She tried to remain calm, taking deep breaths. She focused on one memory, a memory of her first night at the research station, watching the stars and feeling the universe around her. She let that memory shine in her mind. The aliens recoiled, their fear stronger now. Mina realized that these beings had never experienced a mind like hers. They were intelligent, but they had never felt the kind of determination, curiosity, and courage that humans carried. Her heart pounded with excitement. For the first time, she understood that she was not just being observed. She was making an impression, and it was unlike anything the aliens had expected. Slowly, she tried to communicate, not with words, but with thoughts. She sent them simple messages. She was not a threat. She was alone. She was curious. The aliens hesitated, then seemed to accept her presence. Their fear lessened, though it did not disappear. They were careful, watching every thought, every image she allowed them to see. The night sky remained calm, but the world felt different. Mina could feel the presence of the ship above her, a silent weight that seemed to touch her very mind. She realized that this was the first real contact between humans and a truly alien intelligence. The moment was terrifying and exciting at the same time. Her mind raced with possibilities. Could she teach them something about humans? Could she understand them in return? Mina walked to her lab, trying to keep her mind focused. She began recording every detail of the encounter, from the shape of the ship to the feelings she sensed from the aliens. Her hands shook as she wrote, but she could not stop. She had discovered something that would change everything. Humans were no longer alone in the universe, and she was the first to meet a species that could read minds. Hours passed. The aliens hovered silently above the station. Mina could feel them observing, but they did not move closer. They seemed to be studying her carefully, trying to understand her thoughts and feelings. Mina sat down exhausted, but her mind would not rest. She thought about her life, her work, and what it meant to face a mind that could look inside hers. She felt a sense of pride mixed with fear. This encounter was only the beginning. Mina knew it. The aliens had arrived, not with weapons, but with curiosity and power. And for the first time, humans were being seen not just as creatures, but as minds capable of something extraordinary. Mina stared at the stars, waiting for the next move. She did not know what the aliens would do, but she was ready to meet them again. The night was quiet, but Mina's mind was alive with possibilities. She felt small under the ship's presence, yet powerful because she carried something the aliens had never expected. And in that moment, she understood that the universe was about to change forever. The night passed slowly, but Mina did not sleep. The alien ship remained above the station, silent and still. Its shimmering surface reflected the stars, making it look like a moving constellation. Mina watched it from the observation deck, her heart racing with curiosity and fear. She had spent hours trying to understand what had happened the night before. The aliens had read her mind, yet they had recoiled in fear. She could not stop thinking about why they had reacted that way. Morning came, and the sun rose over the rocky plains. Mina prepared her equipment carefully. She knew she had to document everything. She checked her cameras, her sensors, and her communication devices. Every detail mattered. She was determined to learn more about these beings, even if they were unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Then it happened. A wave of sensation washed over her mind. The aliens were trying to communicate again. This time it was stronger and more direct. Mina felt their thoughts entering her mind, but she could not understand words. Instead, she sensed emotions and images, curiosity, confusion, and fear all mixed together. The aliens were trying to understand her, just as she was trying to understand them. Mina closed her eyes and focused. She reached out with her mind, sending calm thoughts to the aliens. She showed them simple ideas. She meant no harm. She was curious, and she wanted to communicate. Slowly, the feeling of fear lessened. The aliens hesitated, as if unsure how to respond. Then one of them moved closer. Mina saw it through the glass of the observation deck. Its form was tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like liquid metal. Its large eyes reflected light like pools of water, and they seemed to look directly at her, even though she knew they were reading her mind. For a long moment, neither Mina nor the alien moved. They simply observed each other, exchanging thoughts, silently. Mina sent images of her station, her instruments, and the rocky landscape around her. The alien reacted to each image, sometimes stepping back, sometimes leaning closer. It was learning, but carefully. Mina realized that these beings had never encountered a mind like hers before. Their intelligence was vast, but it was structured and precise. They had never seen imagination, emotion, or human determination in action. Mina decided to test their reaction. She sent a memory from her childhood, a memory of building a small telescope from broken parts. She remembered the excitement of seeing the first stars through her handmade lens. The alien flinched. She could feel its fear. Then she sent another memory of a time she had helped a fellow scientist solve a difficult problem. The alien hesitated again, as if unsure what to make of it. Mina realized that her thoughts, her creativity, and her courage were unlike anything the aliens had experienced. Curiosity replaced fear in Mina's mind. She wanted to understand them as much as they wanted to understand her. She reached out, with another thought, asking them why they had reacted with fear. The answer came slowly, not in words, but in images. She saw flashes of their world, of their society, of beings who relied only on logic and control. They had never faced unpredictability or imagination. Her mind, full of ideas and emotions, had shocked them. Mina smiled, feeling a sense of connection despite the vast differences. She realized that fear was not always negative. In this case, it meant that she had something powerful, something unique that even advanced aliens could not ignore. She decided to continue sharing her thoughts, carefully showing them examples of human creativity and problem-solving. Each memory, each idea, made the aliens pause and react. Some pulled back, some leaned forward, and one even reached out, as if trying to touch her mind. Hours passed. Mina felt exhausted, but she did not stop. She shared memories of teamwork, courage, and discovery. She sent simple ideas, like the importance of curiosity and imagination. The aliens responded in ways she could barely understand, their fear slowly changing into a cautious interest. Mina realized that this was the first real attempt at understanding between humans and a species with entirely different thinking. By evening, the aliens had withdrawn slightly, giving her space. Mina felt relief and satisfaction. She had survived their mind-reading, and she had made an impression. She also understood that humans were more than just biological beings. They were minds capable of creativity, courage, and imagination. The aliens' reaction proved it. Mina sat on a bench outside the station, looking up at the ship. It shimmered under the last light of the setting sun. She felt small, but also powerful. For the first time, she understood that the human mind was something remarkable, something that could surprise even the most advanced beings in the universe. She knew that this encounter was only the beginning. The aliens had come to study her, but they were learning something they had never seen before. As night returned, Mina felt a mixture of fear and hope. She knew that the next day would bring new challenges. The aliens would continue observing, and she would continue sharing her thoughts. She also knew that humanity had something unique to offer the universe, a mind that could dream, adapt, and create. And in that moment, Mina felt proud to be human. The alien ship remained above her station, a silent presence against the stars. Mina did not know what would happen next, but she was ready. She had faced the unknown, and she had shown that humans were not ordinary. She had shown that her mind, her thoughts, and her courage could reach even the most advanced beings in the galaxy. The next morning, Mina awoke to a sky that seemed quieter than usual. The alien ship still hovered above her station, reflecting the sunlight in patterns that shifted constantly. She could feel their presence, not just around her, but inside her mind. They were observing, learning, and as before, reacting with a mix of fear and curiosity. Mina had decided to understand them as much as they wanted to understand her. She walked to her observation deck and activated her equipment. Her hands were steady now, but her mind buzzed with anticipation. She had learned from the previous day that the aliens were intelligent, careful, and precise. But they had never encountered unpredictability. They had never faced thoughts that could bend, change, or imagine possibilities beyond strict logic. Mina wanted to explore this fear. She wanted to see what part of her mind had caused it. She focused on a memory from her childhood. She remembered the first time she had climbed a tall hill alone, feeling the wind pushing against her and the sun warming her face. She had been scared, but she had also felt strong, determined, and alive. Mina projected that memory toward the aliens. Almost. Immediately, she sensed their reaction. They drew back, as if the idea of courage and facing danger willingly was alien to them. Mina realized that her mind was filled with experiences they could not calculate. Humans did not always act logically, and yet they survived. Humans faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, and still moved forward. This unpredictability fascinated her. She decided to show them more, but carefully. She wanted to understand the limits of their fear and the way they processed ideas that were entirely new. She focused on another memory. This one of a time she had solved a problem at her research station. A piece of equipment had failed, and everyone else had thought it was impossible to repair. Mina had worked tirelessly, testing ideas, making mistakes, and learning from them. Finally, she had fixed the device. She projected this memory to the aliens. The reaction was immediate. They recoiled again, their mental presence full of confusion. Mina sensed that they could not comprehend persistence, the process of learning from failure, or the value of human creativity. Their fear was not just of her thoughts, but of the qualities those thoughts represented: independence, determination, and problem-solving that did not follow strict rules. Mina smiled softly. She understood that humans were remarkable in ways the aliens had never experienced. Her mind contained adaptability, courage, and imagination. The aliens had studied many species, but none had shown this combination. Their fear was not hatred or anger. It was pure astonishment at something beyond their understanding. Deciding to push further, Mina shared a vision from her memory of her first experiment with building a small machine that could analyze the stars. She remembered the excitement, the trial and error, and the final success. The alien ship pulsed with light, and she sensed a mixture of fear and awe. They had never imagined that a mind could reach out into the unknown with both determination and creativity. Mina began to experiment carefully. She sent them small thoughts, showing courage, curiosity, and intelligence. She noticed subtle changes in their responses. Their fear remained, but it softened. They were learning. They were beginning to recognize something in her mind that could not be controlled, calculated, or predicted. This was a mind free to explore, free to imagine, and free to act in ways they had never experienced. She realized that this understanding was important. The aliens were not enemies. They were explorers, observers, and learners. They had come to understand humans, but they were discovering something much larger. The human mind was unpredictable, yet capable of extraordinary achievement. Mina felt proud. She knew that what she showed them would leave a lasting impression, one that could change the way they saw humanity. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky, but Mina did not stop. She continued sending memories and thoughts, carefully observing the aliens' reactions. She showed them acts of kindness, courage, and creativity. Each memory caused hesitation, then awe. She could feel them processing ideas they had never encountered. Fear still lingered in their minds, but it was no longer the fear of danger. It was the fear of something unknown, powerful, and limitless. By evening, Mina felt exhausted, but fulfilled. She sat on a bench outside her station and looked at the shimmering ship above her. The alien presence was still there, quiet and cautious. She understood that they were learning, and perhaps even beginning to respect her mind. She thought about humanity as a whole. Humans had faced countless challenges, adapted, and survived. They had built, created, and imagined. And here, in this moment, the aliens were witnessing the strength of the human mind firsthand. Mina reflected on what she had learned. Fear could be a teacher, both for humans and for aliens. It could show the limits of understanding and the power of what is unknown. The aliens had feared her at first, but now they were learning, and their fear was changing into curiosity and cautious respect. Mina felt a sense of connection, not just to them, but to the greater universe. As night returned, the stars shone brighter than ever. Mina knew this encounter was only the beginning. The aliens had come with technology, intelligence, and power, but they had not seen the human mind in full. Mina's courage, imagination, and determination had reached across the distance between worlds. She smiled, knowing that humans had something unique, something no other species could easily understand. The alien ship pulsed softly in the sky, a quiet reminder of the vast unknown. Mina took a deep breath and prepared herself for the next day. She would continue to share her thoughts, memories, and ideas. She would help the aliens understand that humans were more than flesh and bones. Humans were minds capable of wonder, courage, and creativity. And in that knowledge, Mina felt hope, pride, and excitement for the future. The next morning, Mina woke to the soft hum of the alien ship above her station. Its shimmering surface reflected the first rays of sunlight, creating patterns that danced across the rocky plain. Mina felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She had spent the past days sharing her thoughts and memories, and the aliens had reacted with fear, then curiosity. Today, she wanted to take the next step. She wanted to teach them about human creativity and problem-solving. She began in her lab, carefully preparing her instruments. She selected tools, machines, and small experiments she could demonstrate. Then she focused on her mind, projecting images and thoughts toward the ship. The aliens responded immediately, their presence strong and focused. Mina sensed their anticipation. They were curious, but still cautious. She took a deep breath and sent her first memory. It was a memory of a small machine she had built to measure the wind patterns on the plane. The machine had been unstable at first, but she had tried different designs, learning from each mistake. She projected the process in detail, the failures, the adjustments, and the final success. The aliens reacted strongly. Their fear surfaced again, but it was mixed with awe. They had never seen a mind learn through trial and error, adapting and improving without strict rules. Encouraged, Mina sent another memory, this one about a problem she had solved with her team. They had encountered a serious error in the station's communication system. While others were frustrated, Mina had stayed calm. She analyzed the situation, tested possibilities, and finally fixed the system. She projected the thought of perseverance and teamwork. The aliens paused, as if trying to understand the concept. She sensed their confusion. They had never encountered cooperation combined with creativity and determination. Mina realized she had their attention fully. She decided to go further. She projected a memory of herself observing the stars and imagining possibilities for human travel beyond Earth. She imagined new ways of exploring, new tools, and new inventions. The aliens reacted strongly, stepping back mentally, as if the idea of imagination itself was overwhelming. Mina smiled. She had reached the part of the human mind that no other species had experienced. She continued carefully, showing them small inventions, drawings, and plans she had created. She sent them ideas of problem-solving, adaptation, and innovation. The aliens' fear began to change. It was no longer pure shock. Now there was curiosity, wonder, and even respect. Mina could feel their minds stretching, trying to grasp what she was showing them. They were learning slowly that human intelligence was not just logic and calculation. It was creativity, imagination, and the courage to try the impossible. Mina decided to test them further. She created a simple puzzle in her mind, projecting a challenge that required thinking beyond fixed rules. She watched as the aliens reacted. At first, they struggled. Their thoughts were precise and structured, but they had never faced unpredictability. Slowly, she guided them, showing hints and possibilities. To her surprise, one of the aliens began to adapt, finding new solutions in ways she had not expected. Mina felt a thrill of excitement. They were learning, and she was teaching them the human way of thinking. Hours passed, and the sun moved across the sky. Mina felt tired, but she did not stop. She continued sharing memories, experiments, and ideas. She projected stories of human courage, teamwork, and problem-solving. She showed the aliens that humans could adapt to new situations, think creatively, and act with determination. Each projection caused reactions, sometimes fear, sometimes awe, and sometimes curiosity. Mina realized she was breaking new ground. No other species had experienced this before. By evening, Mina sat on the observation deck, looking at the alien ship. She could sense a change in their minds. Their fear was fading, replaced by cautious interest. They were beginning to understand that humans were not predictable, but that unpredictability was powerful. It was not a weakness. It was strength. Mina felt pride in her species. Humans had faced challenges, adapted, and created. Now, these advanced beings were witnessing that strength firsthand. She thought about what she had learned as well. Teaching the aliens had helped her understand her own mind. Humans were capable of courage, creativity, and problem-solving that could reach across worlds. She felt a sense of responsibility. If humans were to be recognized in the universe, they had to show not just strength in technology, but strength in thought, imagination, and will. Night fell, and the stars sparkled above the plain. The alien ship hovered silently, reflecting the lights in slow patterns. Mina felt a connection with them, not of friendship yet, but of understanding. She had shown them courage, creativity, and determination. They had reacted with fear at first, but now they were learning. She smiled softly, feeling the power of the human mind reach across the distance between worlds. Mina knew the experiment was not over. The aliens had much to learn, and she had much to teach. But for the first time, she felt that humans could be seen not just as creatures, but as minds capable of inspiring awe, curiosity, and even fear in the right measure. And in that moment, Mina understood that the universe was watching humanity closely, and that humanity was ready to show its true potential. The ship remained above her station, silent but alive. Mina took a deep breath and prepared herself for another day. She knew the aliens were learning, and she knew that humans had something remarkable to offer the universe. Courage, imagination, creativity, and determination were qualities no technology could measure. She had proven it already, and she would continue to show them. The sun rose over the rocky plain, painting the sky in shades of gold and orange. Mina stood on the observation deck, watching the alien ship hover silently above her station. Its shimmering surface reflected the morning light, creating patterns that seemed alive. She had spent several days showing the aliens her memories, her experiments, and her thoughts. Their initial fear had shifted. Now it was mixed with curiosity, fascination, and a cautious admiration she could feel in her mind. Mina decided it was time to take the next step. The aliens had seen her courage, her determination, and her creativity. They had begun to understand that humans could think and adapt in ways they could not. Now, Mina wanted to show them the deeper qualities of human intelligence, imagination, problem-solving, and the ability to see beyond what seemed possible. She focused on a memory from her childhood, the first time she had built a small model of a flying machine. She remembered the excitement, the trial and error, the failures, and the final success. She projected the memory toward the ship, letting the aliens feel the joy, frustration, and determination that had gone into the creation. She sensed their minds reacting strongly. They were puzzled, unsure how to process the emotions mixed with ideas. This was something they had never encountered before. Encouraged by their reaction, Mina shared another memory. She imagined a project she had worked on with her colleagues to clean a damaged sensor array. They had faced many problems, and no single solution seemed correct. But together, they had tried different ideas, learned from mistakes, and eventually succeeded. She projected the sense of teamwork, creativity, and persistence. The aliens hesitated, their mental presence showing a mixture of fear and fascination. Mina realized they were starting to understand that humans could combine intelligence with imagination and determination in ways no other species could. Mina decided to challenge them further. She projected a thought of a hypothetical machine she had imagined, a device that could explore distant planets and collect information autonomously. It did not exist yet, but she had visualized it, tested ideas in her mind, and imagined possibilities. The aliens flinched at first, but then she sensed their curiosity growing. They were seeing that humans could plan, imagine, and invent even without full knowledge or control. They were learning the power of imagination. She continued carefully, projecting memories of problem-solving in unpredictable situations. She showed the aliens how humans could adapt when tools failed, when weather changed, or when information was incomplete. Each memory made their mental presence shift. Their fear softened, replaced by fascination and awe. Mina smiled, realizing that these advanced beings had never faced minds that could balance logic, creativity, and courage at the same time. By midday, Mina noticed a subtle change in the aliens' thoughts. They were trying to imitate her problem-solving approach, attempting to adapt to unpredictability. She guided them gently, offering hints and projecting examples of how humans combine intuition with knowledge. Slowly, she sensed understanding, forming in their minds. They were learning that intelligence was more than computation. It was imagination, courage, and the will to act. Mina reflected on what this meant. The aliens had come to study humans, but they were learning something much more profound. They were learning that humans were not predictable, that human minds could surprise, adapt, and create. Fear had given way to curiosity and admiration. They were beginning to respect the human mind as a force unlike any other. The afternoon sun bathed the plain in warm light. Mina sat on a bench outside her station looking up at the shimmering ship. She felt a connection forming, a bridge between two very different species. She understood their fear now. It had been fear of the unknown, fear of unpredictability, and fear of a mind that could act beyond rules and logic. But now, that fear was changing into fascination. They were beginning to see the potential of humans in the universe. Mina decided to take one more step. She projected a thought of a dream she had long carried. Humans traveling to distant stars, exploring new worlds, and learning from every challenge. She sent the excitement, hope, and determination behind that dream. She sensed the aliens reacting with awe. Their fear was gone, replaced by a deep curiosity and an emerging respect. They had seen something in her mind that no species had ever shown them before. The vision of what humans could become. Night fell, and the stars filled the sky above the station. The alien ship remained, still and shimmering, reflecting the light of countless distant suns. Mina felt a sense of satisfaction. She had shown courage, creativity, problem-solving, and imagination. She had taken the aliens from fear to curiosity, and now to admiration. The human mind had reached across the distance between worlds and made a lasting impression. Mina realized that the encounter was not just about the aliens. It was about humans understanding themselves. She had discovered the power of her species, the combination of courage, imagination, and intelligence that made humans unique. She felt proud and determined. The universe was vast and full of challenges, but humans were capable of facing them with strength and creativity. The alien ship pulsed softly above her station, a quiet reminder of the connection forming between their minds and hers. Mina took a deep breath, ready for the days ahead. She knew the aliens had much to learn, and she had much more to show them. The universe was watching humanity, and for the first time, She felt that humanity could be seen, not just as a species, but as minds capable of inspiring awe, curiosity, and respect across the stars. The sun rose gently over the rocky plain, spreading warm light across Mina's research station. The alien ship hovered above, shimmering like liquid metal in the morning rays. Mina felt a strange sense of anticipation. For days, she had shared memories, experiments, and thoughts with the aliens. They had reacted with fear at first, then curiosity, and now admiration. Today, she sensed something new, a shift in their minds, a willingness to try thinking like humans. Mina stepped onto the observation deck and focused her thoughts. She projected a simple puzzle, one that required creativity, problem-solving, and imagination to solve. She felt the alien's presence immediately. This time, instead of recoiling, they approached cautiously, reaching out with their minds. Mina guided them gently, showing them examples of human thinking. She sent images of trial and error, of testing ideas, and of learning from mistakes. At first, the aliens struggled. Their thoughts were structured and precise, used to following strict logic. The unpredictability of human thought confused them. But Mina remained patient. She projected more examples, showing flexibility, imagination, and creativity. Slowly, she sensed a breakthrough. One alien began to adapt its approach, experimenting with ideas in ways she had taught. It was not perfect, but it was trying. Mina felt excitement and pride. She continued, sending memories of human problem-solving in difficult situations. She showed them how humans used intuition and reasoning together. She projected a memory of fixing a broken sensor on the station, showing the steps, mistakes, and adjustments she had made. The aliens paused, absorbed every detail, and then attempted to apply similar thinking. Their mental energy was intense, but Mina guided them, encouraging creativity and independent thought. Hours passed. Mina felt tired, but she did not stop. She projected memories of her colleagues working together on experiments, combining ideas and finding solutions. She sent images of teamwork, collaboration, and determination. The aliens reacted strongly, clearly trying to understand the human way of thinking. She felt their fear of unpredictability slowly fading. It was replaced by fascination and even admiration. They were learning, and they were beginning to respect the unique qualities of human intelligence. Mina decided to challenge them further. She imagined a complex machine in her mind, one that could explore distant planets and collect data autonomously. She projected the idea, including the steps of invention, testing, and problem-solving. The aliens' mental presence reacted immediately. At first they hesitated, as if overwhelmed by the concept. Then she guided them, showing how to approach challenges creatively, combining logic with imagination. Slowly, she sensed understanding forming in their minds. They were learning to think in ways they had never experienced before. By afternoon, Mina felt a subtle change in the aliens' approach. They were experimenting with new ideas, attempting to solve problems in ways similar to humans. She guided them with patience, encouraging exploration and independent thought. She projected memories of human resilience, courage, and adaptability. The aliens responded, learning to appreciate the value of unpredictability, creativity, and determination. Mina realized something profound. These aliens were advanced, intelligent, and powerful, yet they had never faced minds that could think in unpredictable ways. They had come to observe humans, but they were now learning from them. Fear had transformed into fascination. The aliens were beginning to respect not just her, but the potential of the entire human species. As evening approached, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the rocky plain. Mina sat on a bench outside the station, watching the alien ship shimmer in the fading light. She could feel the change in their minds. They were no longer merely observers. They were learners, exploring a new way of thinking. Mina felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Humanity had shown strength, courage, and creativity in a way that no other species could match. She thought about the journey so far. The aliens had started with fear, unable to understand the unpredictability of human thought. Over time, they had learned patience, curiosity, and now admiration. Mina realized that humans had a power beyond technology or strength. Their minds could inspire, teach, and transform. She felt proud of her species and hopeful for the future. Night fell, and the stars filled the sky above the station. The alien ship hovered silently, a shimmering presence against the darkness. Mina took a deep breath, feeling connection, understanding, and achievement. She had guided the aliens from fear to curiosity, and now toward respect and admiration. They had begun to think in human ways, exploring creativity, imagination, and problem-solving. Mina smiled softly. She understood that this was only the beginning. The aliens had learned much, but there was still more to discover. Humanity's strength was not only in knowledge or technology, but in courage, imagination, and the ability to act beyond predictability. The human mind was a force the universe could not ignore. The alien ship pulsed gently above her station, a quiet reminder of the bond forming between their minds and hers. Mina felt ready for the days ahead. She knew the aliens were learning, and she knew that humans had something extraordinary to offer the universe. She had seen it in her memories, in her thoughts, and in the reactions of beings from another world. Humanity was remarkable, and the universe was beginning to understand it. The sky was painted in shades of pink and orange as the sun began to set over the rocky plain. Mina stood on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the alien ship that had hovered above her station for days. It shimmered softly in the fading light, reflecting the colors of the sky. For the first time, Mina felt a sense of calm. The aliens had observed her, learned from her, and now something had changed. She could feel it in their minds. Fear had given way to understanding, admiration, and cautious respect. Mina recalled the first moment they had read her thoughts. Their fear had been strong and immediate, almost overwhelming. But she had remained calm, shared her memories, and shown them courage, creativity, and determination. Slowly, the aliens had learned that human intelligence was different from any they had encountered. It was unpredictable, yet powerful. It combined logic with imagination, knowledge with intuition, and planning with courage. Mina had guided them through this understanding. Now, as the sun sank below the horizon, she sensed a shift. The aliens were preparing to leave. Their mental presence was lighter, less intense, but full of acknowledgement. Mina projected one last thought toward them, a message of friendship and hope. She shared the vision of humans exploring the stars, learning from challenges, and reaching for discoveries beyond imagination. She wanted them to understand that humans were not only capable, but willing to grow, explore, and connect. The alien ship pulsed gently in response. Mina felt their thoughts clearly. They had learned much, and they had changed. Fear had transformed into fascination. Curiosity had become respect. The aliens had seen a mind capable of courage, creativity, and determination. They had understood that humanity was more than survival. It was imagination, innovation, and the will to act even when the path was uncertain. Mina watched as the ship began to rise slowly into the sky. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the last light of the day. She felt a mixture of pride and sadness. Pride because humans had been recognized for their strength and uniqueness, and sadness because the encounter had come to an end. She knew, however, that this was not a goodbye. The aliens had learned something valuable, and she believed they would carry that understanding back to their world. As the ship moved higher, Mina thought about humanity. Humans had faced countless challenges, adapted to impossible situations, and created solutions no other species could imagine. They had turned fear into courage, uncertainty into exploration, and imagination into achievement. Mina felt grateful to be a part of a species capable of such strength. She realized that humanity's greatest power was not in technology alone, but in the mind. The ability to think, dream, and act beyond limits. The alien ship paused briefly above the station, as if acknowledging her thoughts. Mina sensed a final message from them. It was not words, but a feeling, a mixture of respect, wonder, and recognition. They had seen humanity's potential, and they had been impressed. Mina smiled. For days, she had shared her memories, her courage, and her creativity. She had shown them the human mind, and they had learned. Finally, the ship began to move away, gliding silently into the night sky. Mina watched as it became smaller and smaller, a shimmering dot against the stars. She felt a quiet joy. The universe had witnessed something extraordinary. Humans had been seen not as ordinary beings, but as minds capable of awe-inspiring thought, action, and imagination. Mina knew that this encounter would change the way humans viewed themselves and the universe around them. As darkness fell, Mina returned to her lab. She recorded every detail of the encounter, the alien behaviors, their reactions, and the lessons she had shared. She wanted to preserve the knowledge not just for herself, but for humanity. She understood that humans were entering a new chapter, one in which their minds could be recognized and respected by other intelligent beings. Sitting quietly, she reflected on what had happened. The aliens had come with power, intelligence, and curiosity. They had expected to observe and perhaps control. Instead, they had encountered something they had never faced: human courage, creativity, and the ability to imagine the impossible. Mina realized that this was humanity's greatest strength. It was not weapons or technology alone, but the mind, capable of shaping reality and inspiring respect across worlds. The stars above twinkled like distant eyes watching the plane. Mina felt a connection to the universe and to her species. Humanity was remarkable, and she had proven it. The aliens had seen a mind that could dream, adapt, and overcome. They had experienced fear, curiosity, and finally admiration for something beyond their understanding. Mina smiled softly, knowing that humans had shown themselves to be more than observers in the universe. They were participants, thinkers, and explorers. Mina stood on the observation deck one last time that night. The alien ship was gone, leaving only the vast expanse of stars. She took a deep breath and felt the pride of her species. Humanity had been recognized, not for strength alone, but for courage, creativity, and intelligence. The universe had seen what humans were capable of, and she believed that this encounter was only the beginning of greater things to come. In that quiet night, Mina felt hope, pride, and determination. Humanity had a place in the cosmos, not just as a species, but as a mind capable of inspiring awe. She knew that humans would continue to grow, explore, and create, and one day the universe would recognize them fully, not as ordinary beings, but as minds that could face the unknown with courage, imagination, and strength beyond measure. Mina looked at the stars, smiling, ready for the future. Humanity had been seen, understood, and respected, and the journey had only just begun.